In this live stream, we'll learn how to migrate Husky from version 4 to 6. What is Husky? Husky is a way to make Git hooks easy for your npm packages. So currently it's on version 6, which was released 21 days ago, and the migration steps actually is on the Husky site. So if you click over here, you should open up the Husky site, and you can find on your left, there should be the migrate from 4 to 6 over here. Once you click over here, you'll see that here is the command. And so if you want to migrate simply, or if you want to migrate it manually, what you'll need to do is first, I have a project that is currently using Husky version 4. So if we do npm ls husky, you'll see that after a while, it shows the Husky version 4.3.8. And given the latest version 6, we're going to upgrade straight to that. So doing it manually, the first thing we want to do is we want to install Husky version 6, just like that. This is the manual way. So as it's installing, I'm installing to the save dev, or the dev dependencies, because that's where it's currently installed. And then as it installs, there are a few things that we want to update. So we're waiting for it to finish installing. And it's done. Great. So now we have 6 installed. Previously, you may have your Husky hooks in a .huskyrc. Mine is appended with a .json extension. It might be YAML for you, or your Husky config might be in your package.json under the Husky field. But from here, what we want to do is now we want to move this to the latest way of having your Git hooks, and that's in a special Husky directory. So with that installed, we want to actually run npx husky install, or if you're using yarn husky install, and then now Git hooks are installed. And you'll know they're installed because you'll see that now there's a new .husky directory, just like that. And so if we take a look at it, currently it's just with a git ignore, and here is where the Husky shell script happens. And then to initialize or to add a Git hook, all we have to do is we do npx husky, and then we add, let's say, one of our hooks. And so I have I believe a pre-commit hook. So npx husky, and then add, and there'll be .husky, which is the directory, and then the hook name. So pre-commit. And so if we go into the file again, we'll see that now it's added an executable pre-commit hook. And if you open it, you'll see that it's undefined because generally you want to pass in as the following argument the actual hook that you want to run. But here, since we know what our Husky hooks look like, we have our pre-commit right over here. We copy it, and then we paste it. And so one thing to note here is after you copy your pre-commit hook, the npm run or the yarn run commands should work as expected, but lint stage will not run. And the reason it doesn't run is because it doesn't have access to your no module binary. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to prefix it with npx or yarn. And so that's for the pre-commit. I'll just delete it from here. And then we also have the commit message hook as well. So let me just add that real quick. The commit message. Added. And then so here. And then you want to copy your commit message hook here. So one thing to note with the commit message hook is that the -e husky git params has changed. So instead of the -e husky git params, you want to do --edit $1. And that will pass the first positional argument to your commitment hook. And so we can save it, quit it, and now you can actually delete your huskyrc.json. And so with that done, you can now actually, if you let's say you add your files just like that, and then you commit it, Husky hooks should technically run. So while it's running, let's look at any of the instructions that it says over here. It makes the same note about having the npx prefixed for any locally installed binaries, and also it notes the husky git params or commitment, for example. And Husky also has a 4 to 6 CLI, which is pretty nice as well. And let's see if it finished running. It's still running the tests. So let's just give it some time. And you'll see that here, the git commit hooks have run. And we can now add a git message, sure, migrate husky 4 to 6, save quit, and bam, it's done. So one thing also to note is that given this package is a public npm package, meaning it gets published, one thing we want to also make sure is that we don't want the hooks to run during our pre-publish steps as well. So Husky actually recommends here to install pinst. So what is pinst? Pinst lets you have post-install hooks that runs only in dev. And what that means is it prevents any git hooks, any dev git hooks from running during the pre-publish only or the post-publish npm lifecycle commands. Actually, the post-install and the pre-publish only. So it's a way to kind of disable certain hooks. And then so as it's installing, it has finished installing, great. And then so we can now go into our package.json, given that we have pinst installed. And then we can add now in our post install, and then in our pre-publish only, we actually now want to do pinst disable, just like that. And then in our post publish, we want to do pinst enable. So I believe these are the two commands that we need over here. And let me just double check. Let's say if they document it in the pinst, it does not, but let me check over here. They document the pinst as well. So you see add pinst dev, post install does the husky install. So let's actually do that as well. Post install, husky install. And this will make sure that when you do an npm publish, your git hook doesn't run on accident. And so we add that to our package.json. And let's just do a git commit amend to amend our previous commit. We'll need to wait for the tests and the lint to run again. But as it's running, we could look over at their husky 4 to 6 command. So this is a script that is on GitHub, the GitHub repo, and then it requires npm version 7 or above in order to run the npm exec. Now the tests are running, passed. We save and quit, and we're done. And so pretty much the manual steps to add Husky or to migrate Husky from 4 to 6. And the difference actually between 6 and 5 is that it's very similar. 6 was added to be MIT license since 5 was still not, but for kind of testing reasons. And then there is like one minor breaking change, which probably won't be affected by you. But pretty much 5 and 6 is about the same with just one minor breaking change. And you can see that these are the commands. So I've used the Husky 4 to 5 config before. I haven't tried the 6 one, but since I've also found that it can be easier to, automate the upgrade without having to do it manually, I've created my own npm CLI script called husky 4 to 5, which now actually technically bumps to 6. And so let's look at another package which is on Husky version 4 as well. As you can see over here, Husky 4. And then all you do to run it is to run npx husky 4 to 5. Although now technically it's 4 to 6, but the package name is what it is already. And so you can run npx or you can run yarn. You'll see that it automatically does most of the steps for you, except for one thing at the end, which you will have to manually just verify. So now it's installing the dev dependencies, and the dev dependencies, of course, is Husky version 6, and then also checks your package.json private field if it's true or not. And if it's not private equals true, then it will also install pinst and update the scripts for you as well. So you see that it installed both, and now it automatically runs the Husky install to activate your Git hooks with Husky, creates all the Husky hooks. You see I have the commit message and the pre-commit. It knows by checking your .huskyrc. And then now it's actually committing your changes. And so you'll see here that my pre-commit hook with the lint as well as the test will run again. And it passed the tests. And then it's finally doing the lint stage. That's one of the things I have added as well. And says it's done. But here, one thing to know is you do want to just verify that it still works. So I will run the git commit amend. And instead of waiting for this to kind of finish running, I'll just quickly show you the README of kind of how it works and the explanation, which I have it documented here. So the expectation actually with the git commit amend is that it will fail because of the same thing in with the Husky documentation, where you need to prepend the npx or the yarn, since it doesn't know where your local npm binaries are. So now it finished the lint. Now it's running jest tests, and that is part of my pre-commit hook. And you'll see lint stage command not found. And so that's very simple to fix. All you want to do is go to your Husky hook, over here, and then open up commit message. You need to prepend npx over here. and then go into your pre-commit, we want it prepend npx in front of lint staged over here. And then everything else, the npm runs or the npm test, or if you're using the yarn run script, that should work as well. And so once we add that, and then we do a git commit amend, it should all be dandy. So now it's running the lint. Now it's running the test. And then finally, boom, we have this commit message. We know it's good, so we can just put an exit and no errors. And that's how easy it is to migrate from Husky 4 to 6. And that's it for this live stream. I'll put the links in the description below. All right, see you. Take care.